Hello, it's Simon Zucchi here. I'm the founder and CEO of Crowd Property. And in this short video, I'd like to tell you about the new development being placed on the Crowd Property platform, which is the demolition of some existing garages to the erection of two 3-bedroom semi-detached houses. Now the address is High Brooms Road, Kent, postcode TN49DP. This is actually the second phase of this project. We've already raised the money for the first phase. This is now the funding for the development. So before I tell you about the particular project, let me tell you a little bit about Crowd Property. So Crowd Property is a peer-to-peer lending platform designed to facilitate loans between private individuals and professional property businesses. Crowd Property is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under interim permission. Crowd Property is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. There are risks with any loan you make, and your capital is at risk. Crowd Property endeavours to protect all lenders. This is done by registering the legal first charge against the property project. This means that in the very unlikely event a borrower defaults on the loan, Crowd Property will be able to take ownership of the project and manage it for the lenders. So let's talk about this project. This is a computer-generated image of the finished product. As you can see, two semi-detached properties together over 3 floors, 3-bedroom properties. The address is High Brooms Road, Tunbridge Wells, Kent, TN49DP. So let's talk a little bit about the development. So basically, the subject property comprises currently of an open parking area and a vacant terrace of 5 garages together with a detached garage storage building. The land is adjacent to a property that the borrower owns that is currently being converted into flats. This existing property does not form part of the land they are looking for funding on. Planning permission on the land has been granted for the demolition of the garaging and construction of a pair of semi-detached houses with associated gardens to the front and rear. In fact, there's parking at the front. The planning reference for this is 16/00586 from the Tunbridge Wells Borough Council. Now, the value of the land, according to the independent RICS valuation, is £300,000. That's with the planning permission. Whenever we look at a project on Crowd Property, we assess it ourselves, but we always get an independent third-party view from a member of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors. Once the project's finished, the GDV, gross development value, will be £850,000, again according to the RICS estimate. Now, Crowd Property has already lent 210 against the value of the land with planning, and this further phase 2 is for a further 250,000, which will be used for the development of the houses. That's not quite enough to build them. The borrower is putting some of their own funds into this project. The loan period will be up to 18 months. That's allowing enough time for the build and also for the sale of the units, which is the planned exit. And the loan is always a minimum of 6 months. Now, when we do a project on Crowd Property, we always encourage the borrower to ask for more time than they need, and inevitably, loans are normally paid back early. But what this means is there'll be a minimum of 6 months. We expect it to be 12, but it might be up to a maximum of 18 in case any problems with the building or delays with the sales. So this is the location of this particular development. As you'll see, it's very close to High Brooms train station. Now, the site is actually situated on the east side of High Brooms Road, close to the junction with Colbeck Road. Royal Tunbridge Wells is a very attractive and prosperous commuter town located in the heart of Kent. It's 9 miles south of Sevenoaks and 15 miles southwest of Maidstone. There are fast trains that go from High Brooms train station up to London Cannon Street in just 43 minutes and London Charing Cross in 53 minutes. So it is very much a commuter area. A lot of people in this area do actually work in the City of London. So these are the pictures of the current site. As you can see, there are these 5 semi-detached garages. You see the end of them here, and at the end you'll see this is a close-up picture of this standalone garage. So these will all be demolished to make room for these 2 semi-detached properties. As you can see, the proposed site plan, you see the 2 properties here, and this is the location very close to the main road here. This is a front street elevation, And you'll see the actual design of the properties. You'll see the front door come into a kitchen dining area. Then you've also got the living area at the back here. Stairs go up off the entrance hallway to two double family rooms, two double bedrooms, and then also on the top floor there's a double ensuite. So a really good size 3-bedroom property, and there are real economies of scale by building these next to each other at the same time. Now, at Crown Property, we believe in responsible lending and borrowing, and the amount of loan is always based on the project itself and also the experience of the borrowers. We're very fussy about who we lend money to. It's got to meet quite tight, strict criteria. Now, this is phase 2 of the loan, and the amount is £250,000. The total, phase 1 and 2, is a total of 460, because phase 1 was 210, this being 250, thus total of 450. Now, the anticipated gross development value of the completed development, as I said before, is £850,000 according to the RICS valuation based on the current planning permission. So in other words, the loan of 460 will be 54% of the final GDV. What this means is that the loan is fairly low, so there's plenty of room to allow the developer to sell the properties and obviously recoup their money, even if there's a drop in the market. But also, if they weren't able to sell, they'll be able to refinance, take out all the money, pay back the crowd plus the interest, and they would retain the properties. Now, the end exit strategy here, the idea is to sell these properties. It's not really something they want to hold on to, but if they couldn't sell, they would hold them within their portfolio. The anticipated overall costs of this, of the land, the building costs and everything, are £760,000. So the loan to cost is 61%. So about the loan, it's £250,000. We always secure the loan with a first charge against the property. Now, as there are 2 phases to this project, phase 1 and 2 will share this first charge security against the project, and actually it will be phase 1 will give the money to the borrowers straight away. Phase 2 will be released over time as the building work is completed on the project. What this means is, over time, the value of the project goes up as those stages happen. The borrower will be given more of the funds, which will be held in the meantime in the solicitor's protected client account. Now, we pay on this particular project 8% per annum in interest. The length of the loan is a minimum of 6 months up to a maximum of 18 months. The loan is targeted to commence early July 2017. Now, the capital and the interest will be paid back from the sales of the property. So the borrowers, the developer is a family-run business based in Tunbridge Wells, Kent. They're very experienced, having successfully completed 30 projects during the last 14 years, consisting of extensions, conversions, and new builds. In fact, they've already built a number of properties of this very, very similar to this design, and this is obviously their area, so they know it very, very well. They have previously borrowed from Crowd Property on 2 separate occasions. The first project was conversion of the former Flying Dutchman public house into 4 flats and 2 commercial units. And the second project was construction of a pair of semi-detached houses on the site of a former pub car park. Now, interesting, both of these projects have been repaid in full, so this is why these particular borrowers are very popular with lenders, because they've borrowed and paid back twice before. This new project will be in a new SPV, special purpose vehicle, company called St. Ledger Limited. So that's the overview. Your next steps, make sure you understand the loan. So for example, you need to understand that the minimum loan length is 6 months, maximum up to 18, but we expect to be paid back in about 12 months. The amount of interest you receive is 8% per annum. That will be prorated for the length of the loan. You need to make sure you carry out your own due diligence. Every project we put on Crowd Property platform has been given our stamp of approval. It's gone through a strict due diligence process. It's been approved by our finance committee, and then we put it onto the platform. Most of the deals that are brought to us, they don't quite work. They're not the right project, not the right experience of the borrower. So to be on the Crowd Property platform, it has been through a lot of due diligence, but we always encourage people to do their own due diligence as well. Decide how much you want to lend. Now you can lend as little as £500. The average loan is about £9,000 to £10,000. We have some in the hundreds of thousands. It's entirely up to you. You can lend money from your savings, you can lend money from your business, or you can, in some circumstances, you might even be able to lend money from your pension. So I'd encourage you to visit the website and pledge today. These projects are filling up very, very quickly. Now, if you're first time to Crowd Property, we need to conduct the anti-money laundering checks. You'll need to provide some identification to us so we can check you're a real person, and obviously it meets the FCA requirements about anti-money laundering policy. When we get towards the commencement of the loan, which is going to be early July, we'll contact you probably towards the end of June and request you send the funds through to our solicitor. You don't send any money to Crowd Property. It always goes direct to the solicitor to their protected client account, and it will sit there until it's used to complete this transaction. Now, as this is phase 2 of the project, the money will sit in the client account at the solicitors. You'll be earning interest from the day the loan starts, which will be the beginning of July, and the money will be released to the borrower as and when the building work is completed, and thus the value of the property is increasing over time. I'd like to remind you that Crown Property is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority under interim permission. However, Crown Property is not covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. If you like this project, please visit the platform and go and pledge your support now. Thank you very much, and look forward to sharing our next opportunity with you very soon.